Alright, it's time for another little trip down memory lane here on Throwback Tech. Today we're revisiting a phone that really made its mark. We're talking about the iPhone 13, a phone that, believe it or not, first landed in our hands a whole 4 years ago in 2021. And yeah, before you even ask, my own iPhone 13 looks like it's seen a few things, scratches, a crack or two. It's been 4 years, so you can't really blame me for that. Before we really dig into this old friend, if you're enjoying these little blasts from the past, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and every single one of you helps make that happen. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dynamic Island, that's the new flex now. And sure, the newer iPhones have their fancy new tricks, but hold on a second. Even with all that time passing, the iPhone 13 still just feels premium. Pick it up and it just feels right in your hand. Remember that notch? On the iPhone 13, it was a good bit smaller than on older ones like the iPhone 12, and pair that with the super crisp 6.1-inch Super Retina OLED display, and watching videos or streaming stuff on this phone is still a dream. That slightly smaller notch really does just disappear, letting you focus on what you're watching. Flip it over and you see that unique diagonal camera setup. It was a fresh look back then, and while Apple did move on from it with the iPhone 16, it still gives the 13 its own vibe. One thing that really shows its age though is the lack of USB-C. In a world where USB-C is pretty much everywhere, the Lightning port on the iPhone 13 does make it feel a little, well, old. But even with that, its basic design still holds up beautifully, just like the newer iPhones. 4 years is a long time in tech, and naturally the battery is a big question mark. If you're thinking about getting an iPhone 13 today, you might want to think about getting a new battery or finding one that already has a high battery percentage. My own iPhone 13, against all odds, is still at 98% battery health. Well, I lied. That's because I replaced the battery. With light to medium use, I often finish the day with about 10 to 15% left. That said, we all use our phones differently, so I'd still suggest keeping a charger handy. More often than not, you'll probably need to plug in that 3240 mAh battery during the day. For those of you who still have an iPhone 13, tell me in the comments how long your battery actually lasts. Digging deeper, the iPhone 13 runs in the powerful A15 Bionic chip, a tiny 5nm powerhouse. For all your daily stuff, this chip is still a real workhorse. I hardly ever notice any lag when I'm zipping between apps. Sometimes it might close some apps in the background, but I'm pretty sure that's more because of the 4 GB of RAM than the chip itself. And for the gamers out there, good news, playing games like Call of Duty Mobile on the iPhone 13 is still surprisingly smooth. I haven't run into any real heating or lagging issues, so trust me, your favorite mobile games will play just fine. If you're looking for a solid gaming phone without breaking the bank, the iPhone 13 is definitely worth a look. Okay, let's talk cameras. The iPhone 13 has a 12 megapixel main and 12 megapixel ultra-wide setup. The big new thing back then was cinematic mode, which honestly was basically portrait video along with photographic styles. It still records awesome 4K video at 60 frames per second, so it's more than good enough for most of your video needs. Of course, if you want all the super fancy features like the telephoto lens or ProRes video, you'd have to go for an iPhone 13 Pro, but don't let that stop you. Pictures taken on the iPhone 13 still look really good. Portrait photos are consistently clean with great edge detection, and night mode shots are impressive with hardly any grainy bits. While you might miss out on things like 3 optical zoom or the 48 megapixel camera and action mode from the latest iPhone 16, for most people, the iPhone 13's camera still delivers fantastic photos. Finally, let's talk about how long this phone will keep getting updates. And here's where Apple really shines. They're super good about supporting older iPhones with software updates. The iPhone 13 probably has another 4 years of software support left in it. As of right now, it's happily running iOS 18.5 and is set to get iOS 26 this year. So software updates definitely shouldn't be a worry if you're thinking about the iPhone 13. The iPhone 13, even 4 years later, it still performs well where it counts, feels premium, and has a camera that can still hold its own. Is it the newest and flashiest? No. But is it still a great phone for everyday use? Absolutely. What do you guys think about the iPhone 13 in 2025? Is it still worth it, or is it time to move on? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this informative, kindly subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a like on this video. It really helps the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.